I'm Jennifer Baker, and I am doing my topic on debunking brain myths on left brain, right brain myth. It is thought that each half of the brain is responsible for determining characteristics of people. The majority of public, this is coming from the majority of the public, that's how they perceive, this left brain, right brain. Like, if you're a left brain person, then you are more likely to be logical, organized, and excel in math and science. And as a right brain person, you're said to be messy, creative, but artistic. I don't, even listening to that, I don't believe one person is either using their right part of their brain or their left part of their brain. The brain as a whole has different, processes information differently through the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. They each do their own simple things, I mean, there is an element behind the truth, behind this myth, not the truth, but behind this myth, that each hemisphere is responsible for, different functions, but in different ways. So when you're looking at, you're the right hemisphere of the brain, that's controlling the left side. Your left hand, the left side, your left eye. What your left eye sees is perceived differently than what the left hemisphere sees for the right eye. So it's just in a different perspective how the public does see that you're either left-brained or right-brained. And when it comes to learning, teachers don't know this, the neuroscience of learning and how certain aspects of the way the brain works can control how a student learns. I know this past week has really taught me a lot as far as how we do learn. I've learned more about not just myself, but my son. He has definitely been having a challenging year with his classes. As I had mentioned in some discussions, that he seems to be forgetting things. He doesn't remember that he has homework. He says by the end of the day, he says, I don't know what I have. So how is a parent or even a teacher supposed to believe that this child forgets right as soon, by the end of the day? But it's true because, when it comes to learning, especially in adolescence, the brain is not fully functional. This causes conflict with the students and their learning ability. So it takes a little bit more patience, from a teacher perspective or a parent perspective. That, it can be difficult for them to remember and to follow steps. Even simply following instructions can be difficult because this prefrontal cortex of the brain is not completely developed yet and may not be developed until they are older. So with knowing this information, then you have to take different approaches and try to be where you can be a little more understanding, even the way students behave is a neuro disorder. They could have some kind of disorder that causes them to act the way they do, which causes learning disabilities or the student to not perform at a level as another student would. So with all this, with the link between the myths of the right brain, left brain, there's the brain processes so many different ways, like the right brain's taking in information that the left eye is seeing, and the left brain's taking in what the right, what's coming through the right eye. So it's different ways, and I think if teachers understood the neuroscience behind learning, that they could be a better understanding with their students. I know, my son's teachers think that he's not putting any effort into his work and he's not trying to do his work. And I know that he is. I watch him, I know he's trying to do it. So he may be working on one thing, and then the next thing you know, he doesn't remember that he has another assignment in another class because he's been focused on the one. So I can relate, but for the teacher, it's hard to get them to see. They just think maybe he's being lazy or he doesn't want to do it. But I see it, knowing this and reading this material has definitely given me a better understanding that I think all teachers should know. So just to conclude this, discussion about, this myth, there is no myth saying that I'm a right-brain person. I'm not creative by all means, and, but yeah, I excel in math. Maybe not so much science, but math. And I think logically, but at the same time, I can be a messy person. Not all the time. So that's just what the public sees and how it's viewed to be, that you're a left-brained or a right-brained person. It's not really that. It's if you're a right-handed person, well, you're using, the left part of your brain. And as a left-handed person, you're using the right part of your brain. And in some cases, even left-handers use the left side of the brain